Hello and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. We're now entering into our second week of year 2 down on High Ridge Farm, and I'm slowly but surely working my way through the friendships with people at the moment. That's my main driving force, as well as growing a large quantity of cauliflowers, as I can hope that I get some giant cauliflowers in my little patches that I have there that aren't already set up with sprinkler systems in place. Hence why there are the randomly distributed, well, not really randomly, but the poorly distributed cauliflowers. Ah, fantastic. Another hardwood tree. Let's chop that down carefully. Into the greenhouse, because that wouldn't be a terrible mess. Having seen what happened to my parents' greenhouse after a tree was recently blown into it, yeah, it's a mess. I don't know about any of you other people out there. If you are in the UK, I do feel bad for us all because we are suffering from some intense winds at the moment, to the point where you know it's bad when the BBC tell you your wheelie bin might blow away. Now, of course, those of you, especially in the US, might think that we're joking. That is genuinely a weather warning that we get in the UK. It is so painfully British, it hurts. It's glorious. Now, of course, got to finish watering all of these random miscellaneous cauliflowers here, because, of course, I want to export 100 of them before the end of the season, which shouldn't be difficult. It's only the 8th. We've got plenty of time. And that's kind of the main thing. One of the other considerations I have at the moment is, do I build myself another pool for fish? And if I do, what do I put in it? Because I am currently debating having another lava eel pool, as they are the most valuable roe that I can obtain at this point. I actually believe they are flat out the most valuable. Now I'm just going to quickly redistribute these tappers from these plants, these trees here, and plonk them onto these ones here. I will freely admit I'm not quite sure why I didn't do it all in one fluid motion, but I never claimed to be an intelligent man. Here we go. Of course, I will also say I'm hoping that everybody out there is having themselves a great start to 2023. I'm only vaguely hopeful that it isn't going to be quite as terrible as the last few years have been. However, I would just much rather focus on my Stardew years. I really wish I could just be like, right, I'm going to space out and just deal with Stardew. Now, I believe that tomorrow my first iridium tool will be ready, and I'm super excited for that. It's the pickaxe, and it's going to make getting more iridium much, much easier. Because, well, I think that's a perfectly reasonable and legitimate thing to be desiring. Getting that done more quickly. As I really want a... Oh dear, that wasn't clever. Hang on. There we go, Walrus, you're an absolute moron, but we can do it. That was stupid. Right, looks like we're going outside to the vending box of vending. I do really need to look at reorganising this animal enclosure area in some way. I can't quite decide how I want to organise it, though. And I think that's the worst part, is I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with it. Oh, hang on. Why didn't I be clever about this and actually turn them into fertiliser? That'll free up loads more space. Excellent. Now, of course, because I've got the mini obelisks, it does allow me to teleport around the farm. That is going to make my life a lot easier. Unfortunately, it has meant that I am running a bit of a deficit on the solar essence, and I do want a fair bit more of that. However, it's going to have to be a quick check and see whether it's going to be easy to get a hold of, because they are dropped by ghosts and the mummies and other things like that. But of course I can also purchase it from Krobus, and to be fair, they're not exactly expensive. I think they're 80, so it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to quickly deposit a few bits in here. Okay, that's annoying. Flip. I'm going to have to sort this chest out as well at some point. Maybe have to build another one. I think a house upgrade to tier 3 is going to be the next major concern, but I am also going to look at making myself the stable. or the horse house, as I mistakenly called it a few episodes ago. Because, once again, the walrus is an idiot. But something I need to do is it'll allow me to get around a bit quicker, and that's kind of what I'm after. Also, you can put hats on the horse, which is something that I don't think that many people have realised. I ended up with a knight helmet on one of my horses on one of my playthroughs. I'm just debating which hat will look really silly on it. To be fair, the knight helmet does look very silly. Now, just going to reorganise a little bit of the cooking inventory we've got here. That's fine. Let's head on out because we have stuff to do. One of the things that I do really need to do is get a lot more wood, because I'm going to need to start crafting more of these barrels for the kegs for fermenting into alcohol. Not because I'm a chronic alcoholic, although that is a terrible issue of the walrus, is that living alone on his farm for as long as he has turned him to much worse than Pam. But in seriousness, I do need more kegs because the value is all there. And that's kind of it. I'm after making as much money as physically possible with the minimum effort. And to be fair, alcohol is really it. I do very much enjoy, as silly as it still is, that the small changes that the graphical mod that I downloaded have made to the look of the different wines. It just looks pretty, and I'm pleased with that. I know it's a little thing, but yeah, makes me happy. To be fair, I think most of the things that I would actually download, well, I definitely did download, were interesting graphical mods. I still haven't figured out how to get a lot of them to work. The trouble is, I will admit, been rather busy of late dealing with my sort of part-time job, with a lot of students being unwell and therefore being older and vaguely apparently responsible, taking over their shifts to allow the pub to be running effectively. Unfortunately, that's meant that I've had less time to actually do the things that I've wanted to, as, of course, I don't make any money from this. Then not to sound like a pity party, but my goodness, sometimes it's an absolute swine to try and get some voice work. You're surprised at how difficult it can actually be. But oh well. Back to Stardew. That's the important thing. That's what we're all here for. Now, of course, paying attention to commenters and actually telling me, give Gus oranges. So that's, I'm paying attention. Don't you worry. And I'm looking forward to trying to figure out what other things people like. The thing is, I'm looking at certain people in the village that I just don't really feel that I need to worry too much about friendship with. In some regards. It's a shame because I'm looking at the older couple, Evelyn and George, because you don't interact with them very much unless you're deliberately seeking them out. And they're doing a great thing. They've taken in their grandson after their daughter passed away. And, they've stepped up to the plate. Like, a lot of the time grandparents do tend to. They try their best. Which is fair, especially considering they've already done the hard part of having kids once. Now they've got to do it all over again. Definitely don't envy that. Now, I need to cut down some trees. Because, of course, as I said, I need lots more wood. And that's going to be a major component of the next few days, is going to be cutting down trees, replanting my coppicing area, and ensuring that I've got a large amount of wood production going. It's very important right now. Of course, I'm going to be foraging, because I know that is one of the other skills that I haven't yet managed to get all the way up to level 10. So that's going to be a major thing that I need to deal with. Now, is that luck? No, it's not. I don't know why I thought that was. It's clearly not, but I did. Right, there's a horseradish, lovely stuff. Now, I think the only other thing that I do need to definitely do before the end of spring, however, is catch the legend fish. I believe that's only able to be caught during the spring. As I think I actually caught most. I think I've caught 4 out of the 5 of the legendary fish. I can't remember. I mean, I'll have to look at my fish tank. Not like that's particularly difficult to do, to be fair. Did he have a hat that I wanted? Nah, it'll be fine. But that's going to be a major thing, is making sure that I catch all the legendary fish and sticking them into my aquarium. Of course, the one that I know I've definitely got the angler. I'm pretty sure I've got the crimson fish. Definitely got the glacier fish and definitely got the mutant carp. They were absolute gits to find. The trouble, if memory serves, is that the legend you can only catch if it's raining. So I might need to get make a couple of the rain totems, because I've never actually ever used them. And it does kind of make sense to do, but I've just never bothered. Ah, okay, so back into town, and Rasmodius is going to offer me... Oh, if only I hadn't just cut down a bunch of trees. For 1,000 pieces of wood in a week, I don't think I can do that. Not now that I've deforested. So, and here we go. This is the reason I was heading back to town, was to do Emily's fashion therapy, which is quite adorable. And I think it's an interesting concept of being able to dress how you want and make yourself feel happy. But it's access a lot of the time. I can't decide what would make me happy to wear other than a lot of the clothes that I already have. In all honesty, I have some very nice knitted jumpers and warm clothes that my mum made me, and some that even my grandmother made me before she passed away. And I wear those because they make me happy. And, keep me really warm, so I don't need to have the heating on. My goodness, goth rocker much. Not what I expected for Shane. Also, I totally forgot about this sequence as well, so this probably wasn't the cleverest of things. Okay, who's up next? Go on. Okay, Robin. I do feel bad for Clint, because I know that, social anxiety is a bit of a major thing, especially, actually dressing up and doing things. Now, doesn't look Robin look adorable? Oh my goodness, she's showing a bit of ankle, the hussy. Oh my. Okay, I forget what Lewis wears. Come on. What madness are you going to put? Please just be your shorts, because that'd be really funny. He's a pimp. What? What? How? Okay. What? Why is he a pimp? That's alarming in every way. I'm also impressed by the full suit of plate mail. Well, I'm a bit concerned about how she got that sweaty that quickly. Especially, this one can be super nerdy. I've got a couple of friends who are blacksmiths. And one of them has actively made a suit of full plate mail. It takes quite a while to get in and out of plate mail. It helps if you have people to help you get in and out of it, because you can't fasten all the straps your own. It's tough. Now, does he not look like he's... He looks like he's about to go off to the beach in California. That's from a 70s movie. I kind of imagine him appearing in Brothers. As a random walk-on extra. Something like that. And I totally understand that, Clint. I don't want to break out my shell. I'm good. Although, as his assumption is the mother of all screw-ups, I don't know whether I want to marry Emily. To be fair, I don't actually know which of the many characters I would like to marry. To be fair, I could just marry and divorce my way through the lot of them. But, not my jam on that one. Righty. Now, let's head back into town. So we've got Maru and Penny there, so they can both have oranges, because oranges, they're lovely. And to be fair, it's not orange season at the moment for me, but we're still in clementines and satsumas, and I have been demolishing packets of them. There's just something sweet. It's nice. Oh, okay, George. I thought you... Oh, he likes leeks, not spring onions. Drat! Ah, I gave him the wrong thing. Blast. Blast, blast, blast. Okay, so I'm going to have to give him some absolutely fantastic gifts in the next times I give him ones to sort of like make up for the fact that I'm an idiot. It's Linus who likes spring onions. Oops. Well, I am an idiot. Now, the prismatic slime, if memory serves, it can replace any slime at any point in the caves, which, that's not a terrible thing. I've just got to find a slime. I'm not sure if there are any particular floors that are more likely to spawn them, though. I mean, it's a possibility. There could very well be. Don't know. Right, so let's just harvest these. Okay, and I'm going to go visit Linus. Oh, there's a leak. That would have been clever to remember to do. But at the same time, I am an idiot. There we go, have a leek. No, a spring onion, not a spring leek. I mean, to be fair, they're both onions. I know that's not getting into too many ridiculousnesses. Although, one of the things that confused me was when I lived in the United States is that a lot of the time they were called green onions. And for me, I'm thinking, I've never heard them referred to as such. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, it might very well be just the way that we refer to things here in the United Kingdom versus the way that things are referred to in the United States. Little things like what we would call a mouth ulcer is a canker sore. And the trouble is, canker sounds horrible. Also, I'm well aware that it's the Dutch word for cancer, as I've been trying to learn some Dutch recently. And of course, that's a word that's popped up because, what do you mean you don't just learn all the swear words? And Dutch is a strange language for swearing anyway. But that's beyond the point. It's just one of those strange oddities of the way that things are referred to, even though they're literally the same thing. But hey, that's just how it goes. Ah, excellent. So some of the trees have grown on the beach, which makes no sense whatsoever because a maple tree should not grow on the beach like this. That's insane. But I've got like 500 wood now. Not too bad, I think. So that'll be useful in the grand scheme of things of me manufacturing the barrels and the other things that I actually need to do. Excellent. Okay, the inventory's full. What else do I want to get rid of? Flippin' heck. What don't I really care about those? Okay, so I've got 2 more bits of coral. Okay. Well, I can leave them on the beach for now because they stay there. A lot of the forageable stuff can just be regathered later on. So it looks like tomorrow is going to have to be a day where I go and start hunting prismatic slimes. Well, hunting slimes in general and hoping for the prismatic. Also, it's going to be useful because it'll allow me to get closer to the end goal of killing 1,000 slimes, I think is how many I need to kill for the Monster Hunter quest. From Gil. And, what's his name? Man of hitting monsters in the Adventurers Guild. Okie dokie then, let us distribute some gifts. And I forgot I have a full inventory. Drat. Can I just drop it? No, that's annoying. Curses. Okay, so there's nobody over there that I could quickly fob something off onto that would be easy. Let's just throw this over here. Oh, drat. Okay, I've got too far of a pickup range. I'm probably going to have to get rid of those seeds or the clay. Right, let's just sell the clay into my trash can. Buy a couple of beers. And... Nope. Nope. Apparently, I'm really good at sitting down and accidentally drinking beer when I'm trying to hand it over to Pam. Such a fantastic thing there. But... There you go, Shane. I know I shouldn't give you alcohol, but it's so easy. I think that's the thing that annoys me, is it's so easy to give him booze. Right. My energy's pretty low. I've got a very full inventory. It's time to head back home and organise what inventory space I need to organise. turn some fish into quality fertilizer. I probably should have done that earlier because that would have saved me some inventory room. And then work my way towards the next part of the adventure tomorrow. However, it's going to involve going into the mines. That's a definite. Ensuring that we actually water a large quantity of crops. I want to run into Hayley so I can give her the dandelion, not dandelion, the sunflower. I wanted to say dandelion. It's totally not the right plant. No, that's very wrong. Again, once again, I never said that I wasn't an idiot. Right, let's plant a bunch of these because now I can then reorganize my coppicing area. And that's really the main aim of this part of the farm, is that it is going to be the area of growth of trees. And I will probably want to make a bunch of tree fertilizer because the faster I can get this stuff to grow, the better. And we'll pop some of these down. There we go. So 6 of these. Lovely. And that'll give me a large quantity of wood. And that's really what I'm after, is just more wood, more efficient use of space. Because a greater number of pieces of wood will allow me to upgrade the shed to a bigger shed as well. And that's going to be one of the major reasons why I needed to do it. And, well, I say one of the major reasons. It is the main, really. And that and the kegs. So I've got 586 wood. That's not too bad. I know I'm going to use a fair old large amount of it just to do what I'm after, but it's what needs to happen. Right, let's just quickly give the cat some water. And we'll put the iridium away. And I think that's pretty much it for the evening. So I've got some truffle oil, lovely. And I've got a couple of other random things. And we're going to go to sleep for the night. So we've made a small amount of money. About 7,000, so it's not awful. It's a little bit extra. As soon as the barrels are ready, that's really where the money comes in. Aha, here we go. See, I was correct. The iridium pickaxe is now ready today. That's going to be absolutely fantastic because it's going to make my life so much easier. And it means that I can actually go into the caves because there's no point in trying to go into the mines without a pickaxe. I mean, yes, I could carry a large quantity of bombs, but that's not the most efficient way of dealing with things, really. But, well. Right. Can I put any of this away in here? Doesn't really look like it. Can I move any of this out? I don't really need that there. That can go away. Put the spring onions in. I'm sure they're useful for something. The trouble is I'm thinking about my own personal dinner and how I want to... I've got a packet of them that I'm just want to just cut up and put into a nice stir fry for dinner this evening. However, that involves me getting up and finishing the recording. I think that's one of the problems I have, is I shouldn't... In the same way that one should not shop when one is hungry, don't play Stardew Valley when you're hungry and you're thinking about dinner. It's not a good idea. It generally ends quite badly. Okay, so the rhubarb isn't quite ready, but the cauliflower here is getting there. I think it takes 10 days to grow, so we've got a couple more days really before we'll be able to start harvesting it all, which is good. And we've got all of these mushrooms, which is nice. And then into the greenhouse to see what we can find. Okay, so we've got a bunch of the hot peppers, which I'm just going to smash open as well, because I don't need these blasted things. It's one of those things that, like, yes, I don't mind the repeated harvesting, but let's use this space valiantly. Now, I know I've grown a bunch of beets in here, but it's only because I haven't been able to previously, and I can turn them into sugar, which is kind of more useful to me in the grand scheme of things, because it means I can just put it in the fridge and be ready to cook with. Although I do want another fridge, which I think is quite a reasonable thing to want. It's more space for long-term food storage. Although, to be fair, that's something that I remember playing Don't Starve a lot, and long-term food storage was always an absolute nightmare. It's why I tended to play as the robot WX or something, because... doesn't matter if it's rotting. It's still food. He also can eat nuts and bolts, so he is a robot, so kind of a given. It's an it. It's a robot. Doesn't really have a gender. I think it's because I'm placing my own gender on the character I'm playing, if it's indeterminable. I wonder if that's actually a thing, if that's a general study, that people will be more likely to associate their own personal gender onto a character that has no fixed or obvious. Maybe? Not sure. I'm definitely not qualified, and it's definitely far beyond my pay grade for that one. Okay, so it looks like we've got some potatoes to harvest, which is going to be nice, coming from the mixed seed bundles that we've got, that we planted, which is good. So lots of potatoes. That'll be turned into a mixture of potato juice, which is good. And I'm going to plant some garlic. Garlic's fantastic because it grows very quickly. It's reasonably valuable. It's compared to a parsnip, which isn't exactly saying much, but it's useful. I'm going to plant the crab pot, I nearly said clay pot, back into the river to allow us to get a bit more there. So it looks like the trees have all grown there. All the pine trees are there and lovely. So I do need to make sure I've got some more tappers, which will be useful, because then I can actually use them for pine tar on a regular basis. I would also like to move the oak trees as well closer to this area, maybe closer to the lower path, which if you went up, considering that this path goes up and then down, I consider the lower ground where I've got at least one of the grain silos, which of course I still want to move the other one. It'll be useful more than anything to be able to have that, as being able to have all the trees and all the tappers in a general vicinity of one another means that I'll remember to harvest them, because where they are, I keep forgetting, which isn't clever. Unfortunately, I think that's a major issue, is I genuinely keep forgetting to harvest from the oak resin tree, well, the oak trees that have tappers on them, and that's not helpful. Now, of course, I'm well aware that there are some special tappers and other things that you can get from Mr. QI, Chi, I think, however it's supposed to be pronounced. Unfortunately, all I can think of is just Stephen Fry and talking about QI. And I need to get some of those extra things, because I think he allows you to make the super tapper, which doubles the production rate, which is nice. And I would also very much like to have some mushroom trees, because they're quite cute. And being able to tapper them and get random mushroom harvests, which is useful more than anything. Now, let us quickly fling a couple of things in here that I don't need or care about too much. Let's sell those, sell that. Right. Hello, animals. I need another pig, because I'm only getting one truffle a day. Well, one or two. I think it is based on space as well, and I don't really have a huge amount of space that they're able to roam in, which I do need to rectify. And I know I've mentioned it earlier. It's something I'm trying to figure out. Where am I going to put them? Because the trade-off with this particular farm is, although it's easy to get early access to certain minerals, like getting early access to copper and iron and even gold, the difficulty comes from the fact that you don't have quite as much room to have the animals roaming free, or even to plant crops. So there is it's a bit of a swings and roundabouts sort of thing. And I'm painfully aware that I can't just randomly grow crops everywhere. I'm kind of wondering if I could just plant some crops outside of the farm. And there's definitely some space. It's just the difficulty of actually doing it. I wonder if near the train tracks might not be a terrible place. As long as I put sprinkler systems in it, that could work. I could dump, if I can, I could also put, if I get the small deposit box that Mayor Linus gives us after completing the 100 cauliflower thing, maybe I'll have a try. I'll experiment. I'll look into it. Now, let us prepare So, just going to hand over a couple more gifts to people. I'm pretty sure I've given a couple of gifts to some already, which is fine. It does confuse me that the gift giving thing resets every Sunday and not every Monday. It fuddles my brain because, of course, I go, Monday, that's day one. Done. Boom. Off we go. Hello, Gus. Would you like an orange? Yes, you would. Fantastic. I would like to relax and enjoy myself. Let's see. Has he got anything useful? I mean, I could probably buy some coffee. I need more coffee plants. I think that's the issue, is I don't really have a huge amount of coffee growing at home at the moment, and actually having a couple more probably wouldn't hurt, because it would allow me to have a little bit more, what's it called? Capability of being able to create more coffee, which is a vital and essential component of my general daily life, because without coffee, I don't even know how I'd function. I genuinely am a terrible caffeine addict, and it's awful. And as I mentioned before, I'm sure there are other British YouTubers who would probably try and skin me alive for saying that. Tea just doesn't have quite the same kick. I guess partly because you can't quite... You can stick like multiple tea bags into a cup. Just not really what I'm after, unfortunately. Okay, so welcome to the healthy class, and it's definitely a strange... I'm enjoying how she's just like, you know what, hear me out, I'm just going to do some powerlifting. Yeah. It's very much the, if it helps you feel more healthy, that's something. And it's one of the things that I found difficult is that I'm painfully lazy. And if I want to work out, I need somebody there. Even if they're not actively working out in the same way as I am, but being able to be slightly encouraged by somebody else I know being in the vicinity does make such a massive difference to me. And it annoys me because I'm usually quite strong of will that I'll do, if I say, yeah, I'm going to do something, I'll do it. And then when it comes to something that involves me getting up and doing something, like exercising, no. It is one of the reasons I downloaded Pokemon Go in the first place and ended up re-downloading it, because it encourages me to go walking. And considering I live out in the, not quite full-on wilderness, but I live near enough to a big forest, it's quite nice. Although today there is no way in heck that I'm going outside. It is chucking it down with rain, it's absolutely awful, and the wind is blowing an absolute storm out there. And I'm not dealing with that, thank you very much. Okay, so I've got all the sugar beets. I should probably go and process those and process some more copper. I nearly said carbon. It's definitely the wrong thing there. Yeah, let's just throw them all in there. Off we go. I'm glad that you can just throw multiple things into it just to get it to do its guff. Okay, so we've got another leek. That's good. So that'll be a good present for George. And we're going to cut down this tree because it exists and its mere presence offends me. No, the other ones are just growing. That's fine. Okay, we'll eat this because I need a little bit more energy. I'm not expecting to instantly find the prismatic slime, but I also do know that they're a lot tougher than a normal slime because they're weird and glowy and stuff. And if it's glowing, it's either really rare or really dangerous. I learned that from a chunk of uranium, and it was great because then I grew a third arm. Don't worry, I'm very well aware that's not how radiation works. Okay, and into the mines we go. So I'm starting off at the top, and I'm just going to work my way down. If I see slimes, I'm going to hit them repeatedly, like this one. And if I don't, well, I'm just going to keep trying to go further down. Of course, getting coal and copper isn't a terrible thing, as that will be kind of helpful in general, as coal is very important, and copper will be handy, although I think I've got quite a lot of it already, for making some of the tappers and other miscellaneous useful gubbins. Let's read this secret note. Parts I need for my greatest invention yet. Okay, so I'm going to make a wild stab in the dark and go, those are things that Mario enjoys. Okay. Oh, so the slimes have spotted me. You're dead. Go away. Get some quartz, because that's useful for paving slabs, because I really do like the refined quartz look. And even the refined, like the quartz walkway is quite nice. The cobblestone path of quartzy goodness. Okay, let's see. Is there any slimes? Well, there's one there. Oh, didn't kill it. Right, let's try again. There's another one. And it's not prismatic. No. Down we go, I think. Although I do want that earth crystal. Let's grab that, because I think that's used in the preserves jar. I think. Could be wrong. But, you know, that's what I'm pretty sure. Anyway, off we go. Smash that up, kill that, and kill some more. I'm still genuinely horrified by that horrible slab of wriggling bug meat that Willy was next to during that end of that 100 bug meat. Oh, so vile. That was so grim. What on earth was going on with that? Anyway. Ooh. Is that? Oh, another secret node. That's useful. That's not a normal rock, that one, isn't it? It's a ruby. That's kind of cool. I think it gives it's a random chance of miscellanea on that one. So there's some more copper ore. A basic geode's not really likely to give me anything I haven't already put in the museum, so but it's still useful, and that's kind of useful. It's like I might get something out of it, and I've got the crushers, so I can just get that done quickly. Okay, I didn't realise that earth crystals themselves came under a forageable, so of course that has the chance of activating the picking up too, which is kind of cool, kind of useful actually. I hadn't realised that that was a thing. Okay, where else are we going? Let's keep travelling down, and there's the stairs, that's what we need. Okay, I really wish I had a bomb now. Blow this large area up. Slice. Bug meat, fair enough. I mean, admittedly, I'm getting quite a lot of bug meat from my worm farms, worm bins even, which is a useful thing. And maybe I should respec myself in the sewers, because I know that is a thing, that weird fat dog statuette allows you to rejig your talents and how you spend stuff. So maybe I should do that at some point. Not quite sure why I ate the dandelion. I should probably have read the secret note, shouldn't I? That would have been way cleverer. But again, never said I was an intelligent man. I do a lot of very, very dumb things. It's a miracle I genuinely don't fall down more and break all my limbs. Okay, so let's grab that. Smash that one up. Okay, looks like we found the way down. That's the important thing. And it is nice that we've got the iridium pickaxe, because it does... Yeah, I know we do it in the top floor, so it's going to be very easy to cut through them anyway. But it's nice that we can carve our way through the underground quite quickly. And I'm waiting... I think the axe is going to be the next one that gets upgraded, I think. As I think that's going to be the most sensible one to upgrade when I get enough iridium once more. As then I'll be able to cut down the trees faster and just work my way through getting more hardwood. Because it'll mean I can go into the lost forested area and work my way through it. I think after that's probably going to be the shovel. Although the watering can would be really useful, and if I'm clever about the watering can, I'll start the upgrade a couple of days before the seasons change, because then hopefully I'll have anything that I need to worry about with watering will have a sprinkler system on it ready to go, whereas ones that I don't need to worry too much about, well, they'll already have been harvested. And therefore it doesn't matter. So that's probably going to be the easiest. Oh, go away, Dougie. That's probably going to be the best plan of action, I think, is upgrade the watering can around the end of the season. Or if a random occurrence is it's likely to start rain for a day, because I could also try and make those blasted rain totems, and I do think that that is something I need to do. Because, again, it's something I've never done, never tried using, and I don't think it's a particularly terrible idea to make sure that it rains. It makes life so much easier regarding watering crops. And once more. I'm lazy. Okay, so we'll just get a bit more stone. Okay, so we're getting late. So, okay, so we've actually killed enough of the Duggies, so I can go and see Gil at some point for that one. I think he's probably closed by this point. So let's head back to the bus stop and get ready to head home. So I'm going to cut down a tree. Yes, I was just checking to see if I actually had wood and such in my inventory, so it would actually be bothered to be collected. Now, just going to quickly redistribute some of the inventory generally, because of course we've got a bunch of guff that we don't need, which is fair. And we'll go from there, I think. So we'll sell that, sell some of this, don't need those. Do I need bug meat? Well, I'll put it in the monster loot chest. I think as soon as I can make stone chests, I'll make the monster loot one a stone chest, because that'll feel a bit more sensible. It'll be obvious more than anything, and that's kind of what I'm after. Right. So I've got a bunch of dinosaur eggs. I really need to remember to actually put them in the incubator, because I want more dinosaurs. Because dinosaurs. Okay, so we'll put the not the crops away in here, but the earth materials such as copper bars and minerals away. That would be sensible. I think it's time to get into the house. It's getting rather late. So, I will bid you all a fond farewell, and thank you for watching and listening to me. And please, if you did enjoy, please do like, subscribe, and share with your friends and those you wish to punish with my ridiculous voice, as it definitely greatly helps. And I will catch you again on the next Walrus Plays.